Well, here we are, folks. The last race of the season. The season has flown by, and it's given us some absolutely incredible moments throughout the entire season. But I would say, coming down these last few races, Mexico, Brazil, I thought Mexico was a good race. That's a little contested. But Mexico, Brazil, especially Brazil, have been phenomenal races. And I think Abu Dhabi could be the best race yet. And so today we're going to go over why I think that's the case. Let's hop into it. Okay, so here's a look at the FP2 results that just happened earlier today. Today's the 18th. So looking at FP2, you got Max. No shock there. I mean, I think we all thought that was still going to be the case. You got Max, you got George, Charles, Lewis, Sergio, and then Carlos. Now, what do you notice about that? You notice Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. No two cars are of the same team are grouped up. You see that each car is pretty dominant in different areas of the track, as shown by this tweet here that this RBR News came out with, that, Hamilton was fastest for 40.5% of the lap, Leclerc was fastest for 19.2%, and Perez was fastest for 40.3%. So despite each car being dominant at different sections, we see from the results that the cars were able to really hold their own. And it's kind of anybody's race here. Some circuits, especially with how fast the Red Bull's been in straight lines, some circuits really favor them, while the tighter corners definitely favor the Mercedes and the Ferrari. I think especially the Ferrari, as you can see here, the most of the really tight turns the Ferrari's able to get around. They just have great downforce. But I think what we see here from the top 6 drivers and the top 3 teams is a huge sign in this FP2 session that the race is going to be anybody's race. It's going to come down to who's driving on that day. And then if we look over to the right here, Leclerc and Perez both have 290 points. We know the whole debacle last weekend in Brazil about how, Ferrari wouldn't let Leclerc pass signs, and then same, the Max Verstappen and Perez drama. So with Charles and Sergio, it's going to come down to who drives the best on that day, on this coming Sunday, to take home second place in the drivers, which I know isn't the biggest deal. Max, look at that, 429 points, and he could get his 15th race win if he wins this, which there's a great chance, especially if he starts pole. But I think that this race in Abu Dhabi 2022 is going to be the best one of the season, because I think that all of these cars around this circuit will be able to hang with each other throughout the entire race. We know that the 2022 car regulations made it so that cars are able to follow closer, which has led to some really incredible racing situations. So I think the fact that each car dominates on different parts of the track, and the fact that we have 3 different cars all within a second of each other, plus the added benefit of, look at this close competition between Leclerc and Perez, I think we're going to see some of the best racing of the season. Even in 6th in the driver's standings, you have Carlos Sainz, who is only 6 points behind Hamilton. Now, I think Hamilton had a lot of issues in the beginning of the season with the car. He just had to get used to it. But once he did, we saw in the later half of the season, he's really taken his stride. But, sadly, by then, Russell and Perez, Leclerc, and Max have all gotten, leaps and bounds lead on him. So I think that the battle for 5th, Ferrari and Mercedes, we know that the Mercedes has really been strong these last few races, and the Ferrari, it was strong last weekend for sure. Sainz had an incredible race, and he's been racing really well these past few races, but that Mercedes is looking unbeatable. I already saw that somebody had tweeted saying that they're already sick of this Mercedes dominance, because it happened for so long, took a little break this year, but it seems like it might be back. So I think Abu Dhabi really does have the potential to be some of the best racing we've seen all season, and fingers crossed that's the case. Let me know who you're rooting for in this in the comments, because I'm really rooting for Ferrari and Leclerc. I think the leaps and bounds in performance that they've made has been absolutely incredible. And I'd love to see that continue to 2023. And this is a huge, I mean, looking at the top six, even Alpine, 7 and 8, they're right there with them. I think that this is a great indicator of what's to come in the 2023 season. The more cars, the more drivers you have battling for those top spots, the better racing and the more competition we're going to get. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.